Good evening, good evening. Welcome. So I call this meeting of the Magnolia Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present and that this meeting has been duly called and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. So if everybody will please stand, David's going to lead us in an invocation.
It's been a long-standing tradition here at Magnolia. We start off our board meetings with a prayer. So please join me if you would like. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you watch over all of us each and every day, and that you continue to guide us through the tough times and help us to realize your blessings and the simple things in life. We ask that you help watch over all those who watch over us and protect us. We know that we must have faith in your plans for all of us, and that it is in your guidance and love that we will see your plans come to life. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Now, if, let's see, Danielle and Mr. Jacobs could come on up, and then Hannah would come on up. We'll start our pledges.
If you'll join us in the U.S. Pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. You can be seated. Hannah, you can stay up here, please. Or, hang on, you guys go first. Have a seat for just a minute. We'll come right back to you.
Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Bullock, thank you so much. Members of the board, we appreciate you. This is for sure one of our favorite moments of every board meeting is getting to honor some of our awesome students that we have in Magnolia ISD. So this month, Daniela Correa has been selected as the Magnolia ISD Secondary Student of the Month for Bear Branch Junior High School. And Daniela is like many of our students in Magnolia ISD right now. This is her first year not only at Bear Branch, but in Texas. And so we're extremely excited that she's here. Like we like to say, if we've been in Texas for a while, she got here as soon as she could, right? And so she quickly fell in love with Magnolia ISD. So I asked her, I said, Daniela, what is your favorite part about Bear Branch? And she said, Mr. Jacobs, the people are just so kind and they're so welcoming, and I have all these different opportunities. And I said, well, what are you doing? She's taken, for sure, advantage of all of the different opportunities we have on our campus and in our district. She is a member of National Junior Honor Society, Student Council, UIL Academics team. She just made the tennis team, and she's also one of our library aides. She does a great job for us. So Daniela, she wants to be an occupational therapist someday. She loves working with people, and she loves getting to interact with people around them and helping them. And she also attributes a lot of that to her faith. And so I asked Daniela, what are some of the things that you'd like to do outside of school? And I think it's important, we talk a lot about really big acts of service. And Daniela participates in a lot of those. She talks about like working in food pantries and community service. But something that's special about Daniela is when we start talking about random acts of kindness and just being a good human with integrity and navigating their day in special ways. That's what we think about Daniela. When we talk about kids who are willing to help their peers and kind to their teachers and operate around the school with integrity, she sings those things every single day in everything that she does, including when she gets out of car ride line and smiles at me. And so today, we're incredibly proud to recognize Daniela, and we look forward to seeing all the great things she does at Bear Branch for the next couple months, and then at Mag High in the years to follow. Daniela Correa.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Blizzard, Dr. Bullock, and the members of the board for this opportunity to share the Student of the Month for Williams Elementary. We are honored to recognize a phenomenal fourth grader at our campus, Hannah Brock. She is supported this evening by her parents, Adam and Caitlin Brock, her grandparents, Kyle and Gail, her younger sisters, Addie and Chelsea, and we have a couple rows of staff members here to support her also. Hannah is a natural leader with a positive attitude, strong character, and a heart for helping others. She excels academically. She is always respectful, responsible, and kind. Hannah leads by example and always uplifts those around her. Her dedication, integrity, and willingness to do the right thing make her an outstanding role model and the perfect choice for our Student of the Month. Hannah's favorite subject is reading and writing because she feels like they are fun and easy. She attends Magnolia's First Baptist Church, where she is part of the children's ministry. She also enjoys dance and a drill team prep class. When she grows up, she says she wants to be a teacher. We asked her what age she wanted to teach, and she said that she definitely didn't want to teach the really little ones, and probably not the really big ones either. She knows she wants to attend college, but she isn't sure which one she would like to attend yet. Our staff said many wonderful things about this young lady, and I'm just going to share a few of them. Ms. Gonzalez, our counselor, said what sets Hannah apart is her positive attitude and her good character. She approaches challenges with a smile and a can-do attitude. Ms. Gafford, our art teacher, said she truly wants to excel in everything she does. She could write a book on manners, and we could all learn something from her. Ms. Khalil, her teacher, said her peers look up to her and they trust her. She keeps up with her responsibilities for student council, GT, Battle of the Books, all while still making great achievements in class. She is caring and helpful, and she takes accountability for her actions. Ms. Godso said her compass points due north. She will guide others to doing the right thing always. She is kind and helpful and has a huge heart. We are so fortunate to have Hannah at Williams Elementary. Her positive influence on our school is undeniable. She is a true role model for all of us, and we are incredibly proud to recognize her as our Student of the Month. Hannah Brock.
Get back over here, Hannah. We're not done shining a spotlight on you guys. You know, this is a favorite part of the evening for us, to get to recognize students. And we've got students here, a fourth grader and an eighth grader. The good news is we're probably going to see them again come through here. As proof of that, we've got a whole slew of juniors over here that are part of the leadership team that you're going to get to see here in a minute. So you can look forward to doing something like that. But anyway, Daniela, Hannah, congratulations. And we want to say thank you to America's ER for sponsoring you guys. You know, you're in thin air, and I say that because each campus does one student per year. So you represent your campus for the entire school year in each respective location, and that's a big deal. So we're awfully proud of you. We're glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Congratulations. Okay, great. Good job, guys. We're proud of you. Dr. Gorza, I think you're next.
All right, good evening. Dr. Bullock, Mr. Blizzard, members of the board. It is my pleasure to introduce the April Magnolia ISD Teacher of the Month. Our winner this month is Ms. Dalila Aventuras from Williams Elementary. This is her 11th year teaching, all of which have been MISD and all of which have been at Williams Elementary. And during that time, she's been a bilingual teacher for us, a bilingual coach, and is now serving as a reading interventionist. So I know that Ms. Martinez is not here tonight, but I know she has some great things to say about her. I also know Ms. Dominguez has many good things to say about you as well. So from us at the district level, thank you so much for what you do for us.
Thank you, Dr. Garza. Dalila is a valuable asset to our students and staff at Williams Elementary. She goes above and beyond to promote literacy with our emergent bilingual students by providing small group instruction and preparing materials for students and staff. Her dedication and positive attitude for student success is felt across our campus every day. We love you, Dalila.
So I have been teaching for 11 years. I actually am a product of Magnolia ISD. So I've been in the district since I was in kindergarten. As an interventionist, we work with students who are not performing at the expectation for the grade level, and sometimes they see it. They notice in the classroom that they can't do what their peers can do. So when they come into this room, I hope that they feel capable, and we celebrate even the smallest growth. They struggle, and you can see the frustration on their little face. And then when they see that they can do it, when we've worked on one certain skill over and over and over again, but just to see the little light shine and for them to see that yes, they are capable of doing more. Me, I struggled when I was in school. As an English second language learner, I see myself through my students, and I hope that they see me reflected in them and what I accomplished, that they're able to accomplish it too. I love teaching because it incorporates the whole child. We need to love on them, and they need to feel safe and loved here and cared for. And I think that that's something unique that we get to do in education on a daily basis.
Good evening, board. Dr. Bullock, thank you everyone for being here tonight. My name is Becca Henry, and I am the president of Magnolia Education Foundation, and we are a proud sponsor of our Teacher of the Month recognition program. I just want to say thank you for your dedication and for choosing this career. You are invaluable not only to your school, but also to the district as a whole. And we just love that you continue to encourage all of your kids and grow them in their love for education, and we really appreciate you. Thank you for everything. Can we give her another round of applause?
We appreciate you. Thank you for all you do for our district. Okay, so we're going to swap the order a little bit here. Dr. Campbell, can you come up here and go next?
Before we get started on this presentation, I wanted to tell you that the flower arrangements tonight come to you from the Advanced Floral Design class under the direction of Miss Brittany Thomas at Magnolia High School, and also the goodies are from the Advanced Culinary Arts class under the direction of Miss Brooke Gentry. And Mr. Quinn, are you here? Will you come join us? Thank you. So we have some really exciting news, and I've done presentations, student presentations for about 31 years, and I can't think of one that I was more excited about than this one. And one of the reasons is, Mr. Blake, to use a baseball term, they had one pitch and they hit it out of the park, and in Grand Slam fashion. So this March, they had an opportunity to take this particular barbecue pit that you see back here down to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, but it didn't start there. It started many, many months ago when the committee, the Houston Livestock Show Industrial Craft Contest Committee, dropped off materials and the plans, the blueprints that they were to follow. And so they had to take this and build this specifically the way it was done. Not just, hey, build it however you want to, or make it pretty, or put diamond dots on it, whatever you want to do. No, they had to do it specifically the way they were told to do it. And in the Houston area, only 18 schools participated, 9 in the Tier 1 category, and that's schools that have done it for several years, and then 9 in the Tier 2 category, and that could be novice schools participating the first time like Magnolia High School did, or some ones that just maybe a smaller school district or who've done it a little bit but not advanced yet. So they were given the materials and the blueprints, and then they also had at least 3 community mentors that would stop by from time to time. And they would take a look at it and they would say, hey, you need to tweak this. And sometimes the tweaks took a little bit of time, right? And they were a little bit irritating. And but they said, hey, if you'll do this tweak, it's going to really pay off for you. And so that's basically the process. So Mr. Solomon Butler is the teacher, and he had a tough job. He followed a guy that had been at Magnolia High School for 38 years, Mr. Buddy Smith. Great guy, and taking that job is like following Sam Bell at a bacon eating contest. It's not going to go well, and yet he did it. He's done a really good job, and his kiddos have done a really great job. So they built this, and then they went down and they actually had to do a presentation. They had to take a logbook down there with all the specifications, the way they've done it and so forth. And they actually have interviewed, and they took him in a separate room and interviewed him about the process. And at the end of the evening, I was so excited to get a phone call from Mr. Butler. And this is what he said. He said, Mr. Campbell, we took that barbecue pit down there. I said, yes. He goes, I've got some good news and bad news. And I said, what's the good news? And he said, well, we won 4 of the 5 categories. What's the bad ones? We didn't win all 5. Okay. So in that in the winnings, and we've got the trophies over there, the H-looking dudes over there, and we'll hold those up for the picture in just a second. They were the reserve champion in the Tier 2 project execution. They were the reserve champion in built to specification. In other words, they built it the way it was supposed to be built. And then they were the grand champion in the project presentation. And then they were the grand champion best of show. So first year to compete in Tier 2, they won Tier 2. So give them a big round of applause. Now, you can stand up. Perfect. All right. So now I want to introduce you to our participants. So Mr. Butler is here, and his wife is here with us over there. The support behind every good man's a great woman. Then we have Aiden Bowles here on the end. We also have Thomas Johnson, and his mom Vonnie is here. She works at BBIS. And then we have Brandon Price. Wave at us. Brandon and his mom Angela and Stephen are here, so thank you guys for your support. And we can't do this stuff without the support of parents, so thank you for your job that you do. And then Josh Safel is here with his mom Shay and brother Easton, so wave at us. There you go. And then these guys are juniors, so we're coming back. Mr. Butler's threatened to fail the seniors so we can have them one more year, but parents are against it. So the juniors are Bryce Cribb, up there. And then Cole Knighton and his mom Bianca and dad Kirk are here. And then Eric Petrowski, okay, are here. And so they did a fantastic job. And one other thing I want to share with you, I left my phone over there. They had 5 blue ribbon projects that they took to Montgomery County, and then 1 red ribbon contest, one red ribbon winner, and then this pit's going where? Next.
They all go to Blinn.
Okay, so it went to Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. They took second place at, but a blue ribbon at Montgomery County. Now they're going to Blinn, and after that, the White House? And I've already had 5 texts from this table if they're selling it at the end, and the answer is no. They're going to keep it at Magnolia High School to cook for the livestock show that we host, and any other thing that they might do at Magnolia High. So it's staying here, and they've been invited to come back next year, but they have to join Tier 1. So I think at this time I want to ask Mr. Butler if he wants to add anything about the process or how that worked, especially maybe addressing how the community mentors helped.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, so first I'd like to say thank you for the support from the Industrial Committee, the Industrial Craft Committee down there at Houston. And also the mentors like Dr. Campbell was talking about. Those mentors, they came in from 3 different cities within about 30 miles of here. We saw each one of them at least once, maybe even twice a week. So they took time out of their days, out of their schedules to come help us out, help these boys out. And they were awesome to work with, awesome to just answer questions. And so these guys were able to get some real world experience from actual committee members and from people that are in the workforce and everything. Also like to say thank you to the Magnolia ISD board members for this opportunity as well as Dr. Bullock, Dr. Campbell, Mr. Quinn. Thank y'all for y'all's support. We didn't really know what we were exactly getting into when we started this journey, but after completing the year, I believe these boys have learned a lot of things that are going to follow them from the next long time, next years.
And then I also asked one of our students, Josh, if he wanted to share anything, maybe from a student's perspective, about the whole process.
Thank you. What we really learned was just how to become a part of the workforce. We understand now how to read blueprints completely, under stress, under it all. Sending RFIs and everything else that we learned from this project was just we're incredibly thankful for it. Butler, we can't say it enough. He pulled strings, he got us into the rodeo, and we're as happy as can be for it. There's no doubt about it. And then Jeff and Alex were 2 of our mentors. They were staying with us 2 to 4 hours every day to show us how to do, what to do, how to read, and it was just a world of difference.
And I did not get to I haven't been at FFA long, but I got here as quick as I could. And I know in competition, it's all about the buckle. So each one of them have a buckle on. And Mr. Butler does not have a buckle on, but it's sitting over there on the grill. We'll hold it up in the picture. So what we're going to do is thank you for your time and attention and your support. And Mr. Quinn, I know that you have a few days left in your career, but all along you have been a huge supporter of many, many programs that I work with. But this one is one of the huge ones that you've done, and I want to thank you for that. And don't ever forget the difference you made. And then we're going to take a picture over there with Miss Hope over there. And then when we're done during the break, your job is to come pepper these guys with questions and have them show you the different welds and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll let them go after that. So one more big round of applause for Magnolia High School welding. Okay, let's take it up.
So, Dr. Campbell, the Magnolia guys taught the Houston schools a few things or two, huh?
When they came by our school to pick up this beast, and our students happened to look on the trailer. They'd already been to 2 schools, and they looked, and those were Tier 1 schools, and they didn't know how the competition would turn out, but they felt pretty confident that their well would top that.
And of course, y'all need to, when we get to the break here in a little bit, y'all need to ask them why we didn't have bacon or brisket or something going on over here in this grill. Let's put it to use. Okay, thank you, guys. We appreciate you. Dr. Bullock, I think you're next.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Blizzard. So first off, Dr. Campbell, congratulations to you and your kids. Fantastic. Fantastic. I'm kind of with Mr. Blizzard here. I wonder why, we don't have a trial run of some sort. And maybe it's because Mr. Bell is here. I don't know. But well done. Congratulations. Couldn't be more proud to see our kids be successful down at the rodeo, and look forward to great things in the future, too, from that program. So I want to shift gears now to something a little bit different. This year we have had a student leadership program. It's called the Superintendent Student Leadership Program. I don't know that it's mine any more than it is theirs, but it has to have some kind of name. So tonight was the final meeting of what we've kind of come to know as the Superintendent Student Leadership Program. This is a group of high school juniors. We've got about 16 juniors from Magnolia High School and 16 juniors from Magnolia West High School, and they are all sitting right here at the front. So let's see how well we can do it following directions here while I'm talking a little bit. If you guys want to go ahead and start making your way up front, let's put the Mag West crowd here to my left and the Mag High crowd to my right. See if we can do that. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about this program while they're coming up here. I wanted an excuse to spend time with high school kids again. That's why I got into this, to be a high school teacher, and it's one of the things I miss the most about my current job is I don't get to do much of that anymore. So we started a program this year for high school juniors. They could apply to be in the program, and we had 5 sessions that in effect is a leadership seminar, and we had high-level discussions about leadership. They took some leadership inventory things and learned about themselves, and with the help of Mr. Derek Parsons at Magnolia High School and Ms. Carrie Faltasek at Magnolia West, who are the advanced academic deans at both campuses, we selected a group of students who applied to be in the program and then led them through a leadership seminar over 4 or 5 sessions. And it's been a great experience for us, and I hope it has been for them too. They say it has been. I'm not sure how accurate that is, but it has been a lot of fun. Our final session we had this evening with our school board, and our board got to spend time with this group of kids and talk to them a little bit about leadership. The second to last session, I want to publicly thank Judge Vince Santini, who is a district judge here in Montgomery County, and Judge Santini was kind enough to come and be our guest speaker at one of our sessions and talk about his personal leadership journey and let the kids ask all kinds of questions of a sitting district judge. So thank you to Judge Santini for his help, and really appreciate him being a friend of Magnolia ISD. So I'm going to come down there and we're going to hand them some plaques to commemorate them successfully completing. I think they all get to graduate, we decided, from the leadership program. There was not a test, by the way. And so I'm going to ask Mr. Parsons and Ms. Faltasek. They can decide who goes first. It matters not to me. I'm going to come down, and as you guys call out their names, we'll hand out plaques to them.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We're so happy to have had a chance to participate in this with these wonderful students. So tonight it's my pleasure to read off the names of those students from Magnolia High School. And we'll begin with Nicole Arnold. Trace Bauer. Claire Bullock. Addison Cahall. Diego Corre. Jonathan Ferguson. Lila Gosh. Olivia Jackson. Lillian Kaiser. Patrick O'Donohue. Ava Owens. Ella Parker. Andres Ramirez. Carolyn Tang. Chloe Taylor. And Sarah Werner.
All right, now for the Mustangs. First, we have Isabella Barnes, Catherine Bond, Ireland Day, Allie Denson, Alexa Suarez Espinoza, Jacqueline Fincher, Fiona Fox, Johan Mejia, Victoria Muniz, Maddie Spivey, Savannah Thompson, Avery Thornton, Matthew Tollinaire, Peyton Williams, and Zoe Zeminsick.
So guys, I couldn't be more proud of this group. We had a lot of fun talking about leadership, and I appreciate them taking the time, and I appreciate them being the kind of kids that are interested in this kind of thing. So I think our future is bright with the leadership that is ahead for this crowd. So let's give them a round of applause. And we'll let you guys kind of head over to the picture taking area if that's all right. And then
Yes, sir. In fact, this is a good time to welcome you to the business section of our meeting, but if you want to slip out during our break, you can do so. So we're going to take a short break while we do pictures. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll resume our meeting. Ms. Hinkleman, have we got anybody signed up to speak? Okay, thank you. All right. The first thing we're going to do is talk about board training, training of all of us. Sometimes we're a little hard to train, but we're going to talk about that for a second. Under State Board of Education rule, completing required continuing education each year of service is a basic obligation and expectation of any sitting board member. The board president is required to announce the name of each member who has completed the required continuing education, has exceeded the required continuing education, and is deficient in meeting the required continuing education. So in accordance with Chapter 61 of the Texas Administrative Code, I'm pleased to announce that Dasha Owens, Sonia Ebel, Stacia Norris, Jordan Blake, Jay Michaels, David McCarty, and I, Gary Blizzard, have met or exceeded all required hours of school board continuing education training from April of last year to April of this year. And for reference, new trustees have to complete 25 hours of training. Experienced trustees are less, 9 to 16. But no motion needed for that, just required to announce it. So with that, Mr. Davies, I think you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Blizzard. Sorry, members of the board, Dr. Bullock. I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to give you an update on the transportation cost savings. You might remember last month I presented to you and shared with you the national school bus driver shortage. I also shared with you about our state audit where Magnolia ISD spends 5.6% of their total budget on transportation costs, where the state is at 3% and our peers are at 3.1%. So then after that, I presented some options for us to cut transportation costs. Since then, Mrs. Myers, thank you very much, has sent out a thought exchange to the parents, spelling out some of these changes that were discussed last month. They've given them an opportunity to share their ideas and even express their concerns with things that were presented. During this first thought exchange, there was 3 items that kept arising. One of them was the late dismissal time of 4:25 for the elementary students. The second one was to switch the high school and elementary start and end times. And the third one was for more cost savings to consider a 4-day school week. As for their concerns and dismissal times, specifically that 4:25 being too late, they shared that that was too late for young children and it would cut into their family time at the end of the day. So what happened is several of the administrators from Magnolia ISD, we got together, we discussed their concerns, we took all that family time into consideration, and we made some adjustments to that dismissal time that we felt would ease the parents' mind, as well as allow Magnolia ISD to still accomplish a significant cost savings. The outcome was to adjust the dismissal time bell for elementary from 4:25 to 3:55, which is just 10 minutes later than what it currently is as we stand here today. Mrs. Myers, again, thank you, sent out a second thought exchange, and I just have to I feel compelled to say this. The first thought exchange with the 4:25 time generated over 2,200 responses. We made the adjustments where it was a 3:55 dismissal time for elementary. We sent that out to the parents and gave them an opportunity to once again to express their concerns, share their ideas. We wanted to hear what they had to say about it. The second thought exchange generated 753 responses, so significantly less. Again, there was 3 items that were on the top of their mind with the second thought exchange. Again, switching to high school and elementary. Once again, consider a 4-day school week. And then the third one was traffic. So I want to address the flip in the high school and elementary times. Although that might seem like a good idea, I think it puts some hardships on our students. Currently, those high school students, several of them get on the bus at 6 or just a little bit before 6 a.m., which means their wake-up time is maybe 5 a.m., 5:15. If you were my son, it would be maybe 1 minute before the bus came. But still very, very early for elementary students to get up at 5 a.m., get on the bus, and still expect them to have a successful school day. I think that's a little early in my opinion. The second is after school rehearsals at the secondary level. There's rehearsals and there's practices for sports. If we switched and they were at the 4 o'clock, 4:25, then practice for 2.5 hours or rehearse for 2.5 hours, get home at 7:30, eat dinner, homework. It's a long day for them. It's taxing on them. It's also taxing on our staff to get home every night at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Band, football, drill, cheer, every other Friday during football season would miss quality instruction time to get to their sporting event. And after talking with Coach Berna, you would be looking at, in the spring semester, possibly 2 days a week for those teams that would lose quality instruction time. I think that's a lot to ask of them. I know as a parent, when my kids were coming through the school system, it was nice to have that older high schooler be able to get the younger sibling off the bus and be our daycare. Me, I considered it a luxury. And so if we flipped, there wouldn't be that for parents. High school students who are on the work program get out early and go to work, or they go to work after school. If they're not on the work program, it'd be taxing for them as well. I want to discuss a little bit, or at least address one of their other concerns, which was cost savings for a 4-day school week. This is something that we're considered. It would definitely be an additional cost savings. Just in the support services area, I can tell you less diesel fuel, less electricity, less water, less time we would have to replace parts such as tires, etc. We would, if we implemented something like this, I do have to say, we would be the largest school district in the state of Texas to do so. There have been, over the last 3 years or so, several school districts in Texas that have not only talked about a 4-day school week, but have implemented a 4-day school week as well. But if this is something that we were going to consider, I think we would need to sit down and study the data in detail and make sure that we're covering all the contingencies that may arise for the benefit of the students, the parents, and of course the staff. So where does that leave us now? It leaves us at this. Where are we going? We still need to meet with the junior high and intermediate principals. And we want to discuss with them, get their ideas from their campus, what their concerns are about changing the bell time to 10 minutes, about taking the junior high and putting them at the same time as intermediate. We do want to talk to them about the traffic flow, excuse me, and get their ideas and their opinions on it. We want to make sure that we're covering all the different scenarios that could come up and we're addressing all the problems beforehand. And once we do that, then we'll come up with what we feel is going to be a great plan to share that with the parents prior to the end of this school year so that they have plenty of time to prepare and plan for what's coming up next. And that's what I have for an update, so I'll try and answer any questions if you have any.
I don't know that I have a question, but I did want to comment. I think you've done an excellent job. This seems very well thought out so far.
Thank you.
It's a challenging situation. I think, as many of you know, I have kids at 4 different levels in that Magnolia School District this year, and that's 4 different bell schedules, although I do have consolidated bus riding in the morning with the junior high and the high school. Neither the old plan nor the new plan are particularly convenient, and they won't necessarily be more convenient as a parent. So I understand the agony of the younger parents, or the parents with younger kids, and also the challenges of the high school parents. With no high school drivers this year, it's super challenging. I'm looking forward to the solutions you put before us on working out the congestion around those combined schools. That is a challenge. So look forward to seeing what we'll get presented with. Thanks.
Absolutely.
How do our drivers feel about the changes? Are they feeling positive about the time changes for the schools? Does that give them enough time or more time than they've had before?
I think what it does, I mean, if you look at what they're driving now with the shortage, they have a lot of time, but also if you look at with adjusting, if you look at the first, second tier staying the same, but the second and third tier, we've increased 10 minutes. So they're not going to lose time. I haven't really heard any negative from them. Well, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. You know, I was just going to comment that a lot of districts, and I've seen a few around the state, not only do they have administrators that do this in a vacuum without caring what anybody thinks, but they don't certainly seek, like we've done, these guys have done, the opinions of the community twice. So thank you for that. And as we continue to do stuff, that input's invaluable.
Yeah, I just want to say, Joe, thank you for your leadership. And, you know, it's a difficult problem to solve, to strike the right balance between efficiencies and you know, running some things in a way that help our bus drivers and eliminate some of the, you know, positions that we can't fill because of the bus driver shortage. To balance that with the concerns of parents, it's difficult to find the right spot. But, you know, I commend you and feel like we are at this point doing our best to listen to all things and come to what we believe will be you know, the best solution for all involved.
Okay, Mr. Brenner, you're up next.
Well, good evening. I want to bring you up to date on progress on our construction projects. Well, construction project that we're down to. Let me get this done. Here we go. We'll start off with Mac Junior High. Let's see. Well, so I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but now that we've got this in line, we're basically down to a finished product, and we're going to spend the next couple of weeks kind of tidying up some things, but we're looking at May 1 as a turnover date to the district. So talked with Dr. Vinghouse about that a little bit today, and it's not official, but at our owners meeting coming up this week, we're going to discuss going ahead and issuing substantial completion and turning over the keys. This project has been a crazy and fun 3 years, but this will wind up our obligations, you know, from our original bond propositions back in 2022. So junior high, you'll see that most of these images are showing a complete and finished product. They are in there doing some touch-up painting and things of that nature. This is the security vestibule. And you move forward. We do have Dr. Vinghouse and Denise Myers will be coming in and doing some super graphics in some strategic locations. So that's still to occur. And then we have furniture scheduled for delivery on May 15, starting May 15. Front office, entrance into the library. I mean, you can see there's very few workers there anymore. It's just kind of a buffing it up, polishing it up. Here's a shot of the library in its completed phase. Learning stairs. That's about the only worker I can find. Main Street corridor. And this wasn't done on a Saturday or after hours. This was in the middle of the day when I took these pictures. So you can kind of see where we're at. It's a shot of a special ed classroom with the kitchen area. The art classroom, you can see some of the cool features there are the down lights, as well as the ability to pull down an electrical plug to what will be the tables, the location of the tables. Shot of the band hall, its completed phase. Cafeteria, stage. Serving line. It'd be great to get you guys out and do a tour as soon as we can. We're ready, obviously. There's the kitchen. We're just setting up the owner training right now that'll be happening over the course of the next month. The athletic corridor, the blue stripe that was suggested by Dr. Vinghouse. Competition gym. And you see some of the neat features about that are the projection screens in the center attached to the joist, where we also have the the projectors that crank down, so you can put on presentations and have a huge portion of the student body in there. Auxiliary gym, locker room. Again, everything in its final and finished phases. There's a view of the view from the patio, if you will. The courtyard area, you can see the landscaping that's been going on over the last several weeks is nearing completion. And a shot of the football stadium. All in its completed phases. So, any questions on any of this or any of the projects? Kind of feel like we're done. At least with this. We do have some summer work coming up. We're going to be working on the newly purchased building there in Magnolia that we're going to be renovating for curriculum, for administration use. And then we also have some other projects going on for the JROTC. We'll be working in their space, doing some additional renovations. And we're also doing some renovations, some additional renovations at the Ag Barn at Mag High. So we'll have a few things going.
Well, I don't have any questions, but I have heard a lot of positive feedback from parents and students. I know that the MPIS had their open house, I think, last week. And that just was exciting, to hear your updates every month and then to hear, them in the building and just like when we went through Audubon. But so I'm excited for whenever this date is. Do we know the date for the junior high open house? Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, exciting. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Bruner. I guess, I don't know if this is our last update on it, but you've done a fantastic job. We appreciate all your efforts on this. It's a long time coming, right? Okay, then we're going to now move on to our consent agenda. This portion of the agenda is items that are routine and enacted by one motion unless we need separate discussion. And we've seen what those agenda items are, A through E. So do we have any questions or need for discussion of any of that? Everybody good? Okay, if there's not any questions, then we need a motion that the board approve the consent agenda items. Motion by Sonia, seconded by Dasha. All in favor? That motion passes. Thank you. Mr. Bruner, you're back, I think, with more good news.
So this is just a little bit of housekeeping. It came to you a couple months ago. We talked about, we presented a change order for the CTE addition that we did at Mag West High School. Well, this is the CTE and concession building at Mag High School. The other one was at Mag West. This is also what we're bringing to you tonight is a change order in the amount of $75,763. That'd be a deduction of the original guaranteed maximum price of $3,126,349. And so the final construction cost came down to $3,050,586. So the $75,763 in savings was primarily unspent allowances. Some of the things that we had slotted in the guaranteed maximum price to cover certain things, and as it turned out, we didn't have to use all of it. So it's a nice little savings back to the district. So my recommendation is that you would approve this change order.
We need our arm twisted for that, right?
Right.
Any questions? Everybody good? Okay. If not, we need a motion to approve the final change order to decrease the guaranteed maximum price for the CTE health and concession buildings by $75,763 for a total price of construction to be $3,050,586. Motion by David, seconded by Jordan. All in favor? That motion passes. Thank you, sir. All right, Dr. Morris.
And thank you all for approving that. We'll find something to spend it on, I can assure you. Okay, so our current electricity contract expires a little over a year from now, June 30th, 2026. So historically, our approach has been well prior to the expiration to go through the procurement process, select a vendor, and then give the superintendent authority to strike a contract when market conditions are favorable. So we recently went through the RFP process. TXU Energy came in the lowest, and I'll show you a history in just a moment, but we've been with TXU Energy since 2009. Okay, so again, we're not securing a price tonight. What we are asking the board to do is to approve TXU Energy and give the superintendent or his designee the authority to strike a process, to sign a contract when conditions are favorable. And I think I know who the designee is going to be. So here's a history of our pricing on the left-hand side of the page. You can see that, dating back to 2007, we were with Direct Energy, and those prices on the right-hand column there are the price per kilowatt hour. Okay, there's several different ways to look at this. Look at it kilowatt or megawatt and so forth. But you can see that the market was very favorable since 2016. We went from 8 cents back in 07, 09 down to about half of that since 2016. So you can see we were very intentional in 2020, and we actually signed the contract in 2018 for a futures contract because of the favorable pricing. So we secured a 6-year contract, the longest we could at the time, to take advantage of that 4 cents per kilowatt. Well, just like all things do, markets fluctuate. And so you'll see on the far right-hand side of the page, these are the prices that we would have received had we entered the market last Friday. You can see the different time frames dating from 1 year to 6 years. approximately, 6 cents and some change. Okay? So at this point, we certainly don't have a crystal ball. What we know is that the current pricing is roughly 50% higher than what we've had since 2016. For a budget perspective, that's about $850,000 a year. So it's not a surprise because we've been watching the market for years. But, it's the cost of doing business. Just like everything else, we've built in to our budget 2 years from now, the anticipated increase. But I do think that obviously it makes you want to pause in terms of going out for extremely long terms because, again, the rates are 50% higher than they are now. And so talking to the experts, they expect the pricing to continue to rise over the next 3 to 5 years because of demand, the demand increase in the state of Texas with all the new companies coming to the state. And so, again, there's no crystal ball. If we had a crystal ball, I'd be on the beach somewhere. But we do know that we will listen to our TXU experts, and we will follow the markets. And when we believe the timing is correct, then we'll secure a contract. I know in the language on the agenda we put up to 8 years. I mean, we're not recommending that. I think if you look at these prices here, you'll see that there's not a large difference between 3 years and 4 years. It's actually slightly lower for 3-year terms. So I would say in all likelihood that's what we would be recommending is approximately a 3-year term when the timing is correct.
So if you guys are thinking a 3 or 4 year term, why are you asking for 8? It would make sense that 5 to 6 would be a appropriate delegation of authority.
Yeah, it was based on policy. Basically, when we make a recommendation to you guys, we have to put in there a maximum term in the language, even though we didn't expect to go that long. So it was just a very conservative number to plug in, quite honestly, Mr. Michaels.
Noting that you have an average of 35.8 thousand megawatts per year in this contract. What's the increase in volume we've seen over the last decade?
It's substantial. I would say over the last, and I think I looked at it over the last 7 years, it's gone from roughly 27 million to 35 million with the new buildings that we've added and things of that nature. And of course, it's only going to increase. We opened a Parkway Intermediate and a Parkway Junior High.
I think that's all I have.
Okay. I wish it was better news, but it's a market, and we're subject to it. The market conditions, in talking with our TXU experts, they were applauding us for locking in the long-term deal that we had before, so that we weren't having to have these same rates over the past couple of years as well. So it's my recommendation that we approve TXU Energy as our provider and give the superintendent authority to execute a contract.
So, okay, question. So, and I sent an email with several questions, you can imagine, about this being in the energy business for years. So that 8 years may not be 8 years, but the TXU isn't going to change. In other words, if you find a better deal before this TXU contract's up, might you go that direction?
We would have to go back through the RFP process again if we were going to use a different vendor. Because we went through that process with different weighted criteria, obviously with focus on pricing, understanding that we weren't securing pricing at that time. So I would say it's possible, but basically we're making that recommendation to use them, and they were well under the others that we received.
Because like you said, who's got a good crystal ball, right? And it's hard to know what the market's going to do.
And so, yeah, to your point, Mr. Blizzard, I mean, we secured the 2020 contract in 2018. So if we are very conservative with the term of this, knowing that we're locking in a rate that's 50% higher than we currently have, we would still have the opportunity within a year to secure a futures contract if the market corrects itself. So, and that's, again, that's why I think, 3 years seems right to me. Now, we may be sitting here 3 years from now and saying that it's gone up 50% again, but again, no crystal ball. What we know is it's a 50% increase.
And how do we execute a futures contract for this?
We go through the same sort of process, and then they lock in the energy consumption for the future time frame.
And did we do that with our same provider last time, or did we use another provider for that?
We went through TXU Energy at that time, yes, sir. And like I said, we've had them since 2009. We went through the same process and secured a futures contract at that time.
So the providers that you talk to, do they realize that we're probably their best customer in the sense that when their peak times occur in the summer, we probably can
They do,
give it back?
and we receive considerable rebates from TXU because of the efforts that we do. Any time that there's a large spike that they anticipate, they'll call and ask us to reel back energy if we can. Mr. Deavies takes care of that, and they do. They treat us right and try to help us along and guide us. Yes, sir.
Right, because they need a...
They do, yes, sir. 35 million kilowatts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Following along with Gary's earlier question, what kind of exit clauses do we have, or do we have any opportunity to partner with others? Particularly, I'm thinking of in the space of, and I know we've talked about it casually in the past, partnering with a rooftop solar company. I know of at least one, several that are in the area, but one that would discount that rate, that they would work with TXU, but then they would discount their rate. So is there any opportunity with working with TXU to potentially work with other vendors?
Possibly, Mr. Michaels. I can certainly look into that. In terms of opt-out, unless there was a breach of contract of some sort, there would be no opt-out, which is why I would be recommending a shorter term given the current rates. But I can certainly talk with them. Yes, sir.
So the plan now is TXU, stall, and maybe not 8 years.
We will not do 8 years. No, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. In retrospect, I probably should have reduced that. It was just intended to be a placeholder for a maximum term, but based on the current rates and the unknown, we would not be executing an 8-year contract. No, sir.
No, I don't have any more questions. I would recommend that we put a cap on the term at less than 8 years, maybe 6. Just would make sense.
That's fine.
You good with that?
Yes, sir,
That
we can do that because
doesn't,
that's just agenda language, basically. Yes, sir.
Sure, but that doesn't
It doesn't
do
affect.
anything
doesn't mean
in
you're gonna-
negotiations.
No,
or
it doesn't
anything.
affect what we're approving tonight because we're approving TXU and giving the superintendent authority to execute a contract.
Right.
So, no, sir, that's
Right.
fine. Yes,
And
sir.
it doesn't do anything to your negotiations
sir.
with these guys? Okay.
No, sir.
Any other questions? Okay. Then if not, we need a motion to approve TXU Energy to provide electricity for up to a 6-year term for Magnolia ISD and authorize the superintendent or designee to execute the contract. Motion by Jay, seconded by Stacia. All in favor? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Okay, Dr. King's next, I think.
All right, good evening. Dr. Bullock, members of the board. So pretty short presentation for you this evening about some attendance zones, really just between two of our elementary schools with Williams Elementary and Audubon Elementaries. So there is a new addition to the Audubon subdivision, and I think everybody's familiar at this point where Audubon is, and but it seems to keep sort of expanding and taking up new territory for homes, which we're excited about. So Heron Run, we'll see some maps here in a minute, but it is part of the Audubon subdivision. It's slated to have 1,424 home sites and 821 homes expected in the first phase of construction, which would be 2025 and early 2026. So it's currently zoned to Williams Elementary. That is it is the largest elementary school that we have, okay? So what I'm recommending today is that we revise Williams Elementary and Audubon Elementary attendance zone so that Heron Run, which is a part of Audubon, which all of Audubon right now goes to Audubon Elementary, so that Heron Run would be shifted from the Williams zone into the Audubon Elementary zone. As Audubon Elementary, you guys have seen the demographer's report. It will be a large elementary school at some point, but right now it's slated to open with about 600 students next year. I did ask our in-house demographer about how many students might that yield next year. It's not on the presentation. She said somewhere around 50 is our best outlook at this point. So it shouldn't take Audubon Elementary's enrollment up, so high where that would be untenable or unmanageable at that point. But taking around 50 students out of the Williams zone right now is probably a good idea given the number of students at Williams. And also our standard practice with elementary attendance zones has been to try to keep neighborhoods together. And those large neighborhoods like Audubon are gonna start to span across our traditional attendance zones at this point, but we still wanna try to keep those kiddos together and all go into the same elementary school when possible. So a couple of visuals. So this is our current elementary zone. So you'll see Williams sort of in that blue there in the center and Audubon in the pink. So that's currently. And so you'll see the one piece there from Audubon that goes over into Williams, or what may have been Williams attendance zone at some point. That's not Heron Run. This Heron Run is that right there. So pretty large piece of land. Right there, right in the middle of Williams attendance zone. So it's highlighted there in red for you. Again, we'll have quite a few homes in it. Shouldn't yield that many students next year. And so the recommendation is pretty simple, that Magnolia ISD Board of Trustees approve the attendance zone revision for Williams and Audubon Elementary Schools for the 2025-2026 school year to allow Heron Run to move out of Williams attendance zone into the Audubon attendance zone for 25-26. Questions?
As you mentioned, there's no homes yet, so the impact is nothing until that happens, right?
Right now, no, sir. I mean, like I said, probably 50 max students next year over the course of the entire year. But nothing that should take Audubon Elementary and put it in a place where the enrollment is too much to manage, or we don't have enough teachers there to accommodate for those amount of students or anything like that. So
the section of Heron Run, is that adjacent to 249? Is that kind of where it is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's adjacent also to the current Audubon area?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What else?
And Williams Elementary is one of our largest elementary schools.
Yes, ma'am. I know, I think Ms. Martinez made it this morning. I think they have about 820 students. The elementary principals seem to know exactly how many students are in every one of their schools. And if we ever undershoot their enrollment, they're quick to let us know. But I think she's roughly about 820-ish students. Another 50 to that. It's a lot of kids.
It's a lot of kids.
But Audubon's sitting with about 600. 650 is a good number.
Okay.
What else?
I think it sounds like a logical shift, and thanks for your, just observation, and I'm glad that we're doing this.
Okay. So this does need a vote. So again, the recommendation is to move Heron Run from Williams Elementary into Audubon Elementary School zone for 25-26.
Thank you for being proactive. That's good.
Yes, sir.
So if we don't have any more questions, we need a motion to approve the attendance zone revision for Williams and Audubon Elementary Schools as presented. Motion by Jay, seconded by Sonia. All in favor? That motion passes. Thank you, sir. What else?
I'm good, sir.
That's it?
That's it.
All righty. Then now we're going to move, the board's going to move to recess into closed executive session for the purposes permitted by A, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney. B, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.074, personnel discussion recommendations. C, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.072, discussion of purchase, sale, exchange, or value of real property. And finally, D, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.076, discuss summary of findings from recent detection audits. Thank you very much. Okay, I need a motion that we adjourn this meeting. Motion by Jay, seconded by everyone else. Dasha, all in favor? That motion passes. Thank you.